But anyway, what we have here on the Game Boy is Solar Striker. This is one of the first shooters they ever had. I'm just trying to remember what buttons do what. Yeah, this actually is something interesting about this. Gunpei Yokai was actually on the team that developed this. It wasn't directly his, but he had a hand in it. And this was after Nintendo had given up on doing 2D shooters for a while. But they were like, you know what, let's give it a shot, what the hell. And this turned out pretty well. This is actually one of my favorites from the Game Boy era. I looked up names of some of the enemies, by the way. Those things that were coming in and making the left and right turns. Those things right there. I kid you not, their name is Batwing. Oh yeah, and if we're talking about fighting game women or video game women that just kind of let it all out, no discussion is complete without Miss Me Bouncy, Mai Shiranui. Yeah. Always remember, Justin, AA is for quitters. And I think I should be getting a more powerful power-up in a moment. And this is the first boss. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. I'll look at it in a moment. I wrote everything down. So this was the Stellar area, and that was Epicon. And now we're going into Ozone. Bonnie Janae. What was she from? Or maybe that's the Batwing, I forget. Oh, from Guru, Mark of the Wolves. That's one I actually never got around to. I really should correct that. There we go. We got the super powerful missiles. Yeah, sort of interesting to me when I went to MagFest. The last one I'd been to was actually in 2017. So sort of a celebration ever at getting over my major health issues. Damn it! I got that button for the main map, for the main menu map to rewind on the Nestopia, so it's screwing me up a bit. But yeah, 2017, I cosplayed for the first time as Billy Kane. And there were a few other people that had done SNK Fighter cosplay. There was a Terry Bogard. There was a Rock. This is the Destructor, by the way. Rock Howard, I think his name is. But there was also a guy who said he didn't expect anyone else to do SNK stuff, and he was dressed as Robert Garcia. So we picked each other out almost immediately. Now we are in the city. I figured by the name, yeah. Hey, I'm perfectly fine with someone being a perv, because it means, you know, they're honest. As long as they're, you know, not forcing their perviness on a person against their will. Be pervy with consent. Revenant Wings, welcome! Yes, quality content in the form of Solar Striker for the Game Boy. Big trucks. Those actually much later reminded me of Outlaw from Mask, the big oil tanker. The tank part flipped up and it revealed a giant cannon. Okay, well, you know, glad to have you. Glad to hear from you. I'm glad you got stuff done. I don't know why I keep going for those power-ups. I'm maxed out. These are a pain in the ass. These things take so damn many shots. And they just spread them all over the frickin' place. Why there was never a video game of Mask, that's a crime. And if they're going to reissue a whole bunch of other stuff like G.I. Joes and Transformers, I would love to see Mask get reissued. And it's not out of the realm of possibility because as of last I knew, Hasbro had the Kenner license. And there was a brief IDW comic with Mask, and there was some crossover between Mask and G.I. Joe. Though strangely enough, they took away Matt Tracker's son and made him black, so strange reinvention. I'm not really a fan of when they take their liberties with old characters, you know. But anyway, and that was the Ultra Crusher we just Ultra Crushed. As we go to Death Valley. Yeah, I mean, if they wanted a black character for Mask, they had Hondo McLean. Or, you know, create someone new. Or, you know, I don't know, have Stalker join Mask. You know, he's not doing anything in G.I. Joe. They actually had a G.I. Joe figure with, yeah, they actually had a G.I. Joe version of Matt Tracker. Yeah, they were. I don't know, I'm guessing they had to have the license on them. And I know those things expire after a while. But then again, you know, the Transformers, it was very clear what vehicle, make, and model all of them were, even if they didn't come out and say it. You know, and even G.I. Joe did that once or twice, like the Thunder Machine, the Dreadnought Thunder Machine. The front of that was quite obviously a Trans Am hood. I don't think they ever came out and said it, but it was easy to recognize. We have the mid-boss here, Omniquad. This is the point where we start getting mid-bosses. Yeah, and it'll do that annoying stuff to protect the core, but it's down. My Little Pony, there was a reboot of Gem in the comics, and this boss doesn't even have a name. It's just a unknown, obnoxious bass. And you can sort of get a pattern on it, but not really. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of that going on. This is the point where Solar Striker got kind of bullet helly. It also really annoyed me when I was playing this on Game Boy originally, that instead of just, you know, flashing or something like that, you had that dee-dee-dee jarring movement of the bass. Yeah, I don't remember, did they reboot She-Ra when they rebooted He-Man? Oh, we are in the outer base now, by the way. Slight correction, by the way, when I said the previous base boss didn't have a name, it was just listed with all question marks in the owner's manual, and none of the guides that I was able to find had an official name for it, so that may have been just their excuse for not bothering to come up with one. This is Xenocrypt. And I believe you do have to destroy all 4 parts. Or not. These guys remind me of the fly enemies from Mario Brothers. And oh hell, we got Metroids. Yeah, Voltron did get rebooted. What the... Count Duckula's evil? What the hell? Yeah, I do apologize, by the way, if I'm missing somebody's statement in the chat. I just seem to have a lot of fire coming at me. Oh, and I'm guessing this time when they did the reincarnation, they didn't accidentally use ketchup. And yet another unknown named boss. 7 gazillion fucking cannons. I don't know why the first 3 bosses were moving, and then the 4, 5, and 4 and 5 at least bosses are just stationary things. Edgy... Yeah, edgy, Duckula. And hi, Gamigumo. Or did I say that already? I lose track so easily. Please don't take offense to that when it happens, because it will happen. It's like people's character voices. I lose that too. And mid-boss here. This is the core of base, and this is Quasi-Obliterator. I don't know why they couldn't afford a full Obliterator, but there we are. Now, after everything that's been shooting and barreling at me, I'm not going to get shot by one of those stupid little spinny things. Not happening. Yeah, the problem is they're in a rush to, you know, get the name licensed and capitalize on our memories of it, but then, you know, they forget about what made it special in the first place. You know, we liked, you know, Count Duckula because, you know, he wasn't an asshole, you know, and, you know, so on and so forth, and various stuff like that. Okay, now we have the leader of the planet Reticulon. These are invaders from the planet Reticulon, or we were invading Reticulon, one of the two. But first we have a boss rush. And some meteors, because why the fuck not? Okay. Here's Xeno Gears, or whatever the hell his name was. Yeah, good. Piss off again. And the Quasi-Obliterator. You'd think after I destroyed the first Quasi-Obliterator, they would have gone for, you know, take the time to build a full Obliterator. Because he should have known what was going to happen if you threw another one of those at me. Now this is just fire coming from all directions here. But once again, stationary boss. It's like they said after the third level, it's like, you know what, if he's going to keep blowing these things up, let's just stop putting engines into them. And I explode out of the prolapse. Final mission is over! And I flew right through the nose of the ship. Producer Gunpei Yokoi. Rest in peace, good sir. Alright, Justin, well, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. And I will see you soon. Take care. And this is how the game got its name. There is a solar. Let's go strike it. Also, this is one of the few times I can remember seeing, for the most part, people's actual names in credits instead of aliases. And usually most game companies wanted to use aliases for their people so they wouldn't get poached by other companies. So this is kind of odd to see. And the Cybertron fighter takes off to go strike another solar.